I'm Arlene Herson, and we're back again in Central Park at this incredible benefit for the Metropolitan Opera. We were here last week, but so many things are happening and so many interesting guests are here. Well, we're back again. It's a Victorian boating party, and we're at the Low Boathouse at 72nd Street in Central Park, which has been transformed into a Victorian fairyland. There are operatic and pop performances, magic shows, gondolas on the lake, and of course, interesting guests to talk to. We'll be right back after these messages, so please do not go away. I'm Arlene Herson, and here we are at this wonderful benefit in Central Park for the Metropolitan Opera. We're joined now by Gilbert Gottfried, a comedian actually who's recently been in Beverly Hills Cop 2, where I understand that he cracked up Eddie Murphy, which isn't such an easy thing to do. Welcome.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You were making faces while I was doing that.
No, I was just being rude.
Okay.
Yes, that's. I like to go out of my way.
You almost distracted me.
Yes, almost.
Okay, when you say almost tea, I was going to say, you said you were being rude, and what I heard...
Boy, the drinks in this place are great, I'll tell you. Something like a drink with fungus growing on it, yes.
Okay. Speaking about doing research, I think some of the things that I learned about you maybe weren't true.
Yes.
Because I heard you're on the stage, you make people laugh, but that I heard in several places that you were shy. You
No, totally, no. No, I think they were talking about Pavarotti. You got the notes mixed up.
Okay, but when you're on stage a lot, you keep your eyes
I'm on stage a lot.
Okay, are you on stage a lot? I hope so.
Yes, I try to be.
But why do you close your eyes?
So I can't see the hatred that's being directed toward me from the audience. Yes.
Okay, you don't mean that.
Yes.
You do
I usually keep my eyes closed because I don't want to see them coming at me when they finally do with like weapons to get me off.
Actually, they've been coming at you with a lot of laughter, with a lot of good reviews, and with some really good movie parts. Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes. No, she's talking about Judge Reinhold. It's not me. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in Beverly Hills Cop. Yes, I was in that.
Now, I heard, as I mentioned in this introduction, before you distracted me, that you cracked Eddie Murphy up on the set all the time, and that he's not easy to make laugh.
Yeah, well, he isn't. And, Beverly Hills Cop was an interesting. I play a loud, irritating Jew, which was a stretch for me. And it was totally, the part was up between me and Daryl Hannah, basically. And, I like when bugs land on my head and die. This bug landed on my forehead and commit suicide. It was a harikiri thing. It just slapped right into the forehead and commit suicide.
Okay, well, people have to realize we're outside here, so we have a lot of that
we have bugs, we have snakes. It's a lovely place.
I think I heard the bug laugh before you killed him, though.
Yes, he did. No, he said, God, I can't stand him. And he decided to smash his head against my forehead.
Okay, seriously, although it's hard to be serious, but lots of good things have been happening to you.
Yes.
Beverly Hills Cop, you've been on the Cosby Show as a guest.
Yes, I'm one of the Cosby kids.
Well, that's a little
Cosby
bit of
Show, Eddie Murphy. I'm at a point where no white person will work with me, basically.
Okay, but if things develop by television or something, you'd have to move to California. You're a Brooklyn boy.
Yes,
You're really
I was
a New York
originally.
person.
I was.
Okay, but
look at them. They're crawling all over here.
Okay, those are the, okay, they're gone. We want you here.
No, this one's still moving. Yes.
Okay, would you feel comfortable in California?
If I could live with you, Hefner, yes.
Okay.
Other than that, I think I would feel a little uncomfortable.
Okay, for a boy who aspired, one of the
Yes.
things I read, to be a non-entity.
Yes.
Obviously, you're not a non-entity if you're on the stage.
Yes.
That takes a lot of
Well, I
guts,
am
though.
here. I go to like places where it's a benefit for the opera, so God knows millions of people know me here.
Okay, but here you're a guest.
Yes.
On stage, you're working.
Yes.
Not easy work.
No, it's
What
not
made
easy
you
work.
decide to do that?
Pure stupidity on my part. Yes, it was just a person who doesn't think things out.
I
Good.
hear.
Another one. He tried to kill himself on the bridge of my nose, but I stopped him.
I hear that you used to pretend when other
Yes.
comedians were on stage.
Yes.
You would pretend to be an agent
Yes.
and go up there and really.
And
kinda
really,
get in the act.
well, actually take a percentage of their salary and leave town with it, is what basically agents do.
Okay.
Yes.
But that's really what brought you to the attention of other comedians.
Yeah, well, that's just one thing I used to do. Are you boys taking this down? Like for a little fly gazette.
These are flies he's talking to in case.
Yes. In case you don't have those in case you can't zoom in. This one was killed earlier today.
Okay.
Yes.
All kidding aside. All
Yes.
kidding aside.
Okay.
You've been on Saturday Night Live
Yes.
and you were on The Thick of the Night.
Yes.
Both times didn't work out so great.
Yeah, not, and now I'm very happy to be here, and
Okay.
so I'm sure there'll be like drownings and things.
No. Well, the
Yes.
reason I mention that
Yes.
is that there are
Because
certain
you like to
times-
bring up bad
Okay.
experiences.
No. Because everybody's waiting for that one big break.
Yes.
Now, Saturday
Yes,
Night
an arm,
Live
a
put it in
leg.
it. No.
Okay.
You've had a couple
Yes.
of opportunities. You have one
Yes.
now in Beverly Hills
Yes.
Cop.
And I'm hoping to blow this one too.
Are
Yes.
things happening
Yeah.
to you now different?
Yeah, well, I'm doing an album for Quantum Records. I mean, they gave me the ride over, so I have to plug their album. Yes, I have an album coming out on Quantum. So what God knows what that means. It's like a bug or something, an animal of some kind. But I have an album coming out on Quantum, I think after Christmas. Because God knows that's when people like to buy things after Christmas, you know.
Good timing.
Yeah, go
Good
figure it
timing.
out.
Good timing. Robin Williams called you an anti-comic.
He called me an anti-Semite. What?
No. He called you an anti-comic.
Yes, that
Do you
means
know
I'm
what
not
he meant?
funny.
No. But he's a
Yes.
friend. He was saying it.
He was saying it in a nice
did he
way?
mean? Yeah. What did he
An
mean?
anti-comic. Boy, you got me. Do you think we can get a phone out and call him?
He's a friend, I hear.
Oh, yeah, he tries.
Okay. What about Gilbert Gottfried? Single, living in New York? What kind of...
Single, I'm like Tony Curtis.
No, you're not like
Yes,
Tony
yeah.
Curtis.
Single, living in New York.
Okay. In show business,
Yes,
trying to make it in comedy,
yes.
time for a personal life?
No. And just think of the personal life I could have if it wasn't for this. I could be out square dancing right now. Yeah, just the personal life that I'm missing.
Actually, don't knock square dancing. I did it last week. It was
You
a
did?
lot of fun.
I love square dancing.
No, I'm serious.
I don't mean to attack any square dancers in this audience.
Okay. But obviously you're very eligible now.
Yes.
And there might be some women out there in the
Just
audience
anything.
that know how
I'll
to.
take anything. A guy in a dress, I don't care. Just anything.
What was it like working with Eddie Murphy?
It was, boy, who remembers that far back? It was an experience. That's when you don't know what to say. It was an experience.
Well, I expected
He's a
you.
total professional.
Okay, I
Yes.
expected you to say it was wonderful. He was wonderful. What a wonderful break, and I
He
love
was wonderful. I was wonderful. What a wonderful break. I love it.
it. Okay.
Yes.
You close your
Why
eyes.
can't you answer? Why can't you
Okay.
writ down my answers too?
Okay.
That would help
You
considerably.
close your eyes on the stage
Yes.
tight. We
Yes.
talked about that.
Yes, I picked that up from Helen
Okay.
Keller. It was a little gimmick she had. And, yeah.
Okay, if you open them up
Yes.
to see what's in the future for Gilbert Gottfried, what would you like to see there?
In the future, let's see. Rocket ships that go, to Mars. That's too far in the future.
No, I mean your
Right, yes.
career. I mean you.
In my
personally.
career, basically, I can see myself weighing 300 pounds and doing guest appearances on the Love Boat.
Okay,
And people
because
can watch me on the Love Boat
Okay.
and go, God, does he look old?
okay,
Yes.
the reason you would be doing those guest
Yes.
appearances is because you would have made a smash success by that
Yes,
time.
yes.
And I hope that you will.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I'm glad you took the time to spend some time with us.
No problem. No one else showed up. Someone had to talk to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
back to the party. Stay there
Okay,
for a minute.
what a horrible thought.
We've been speaking to Gilbert Gottfried. We have more guests, so please stay right there. Well, I'm Arlene Herson, and here we are again at the Metropolitan Opera benefit. We can hear lots of music in the background, lots of excitement. We're joined now by Timothy Jerome, who is currently
Delighted to be here.
Hi. Whole bunch of families here. You're here with your little daughter, Emma.
I'm here with my daughter and my wife, Susan Bigelow, who sang with us and we entertained here at the benefit.
Okay, both of you here.
Well, both of us,
Okay.
actually 6 of us. There was a sextet of folks, most of whom come from the cast of Me and My Girl. And Susan, my wife, and Chris Sarandon, who happens to be a friend of mine, we all got together and we formed a little singing group for tonight.
Well, your wife actually just finished a performance on Broadway in South Pacific, actually
That's right.
playing Mary Martin's part.
That's correct.
Big, tough role.
A very
to kind
tough role,
of, you know,
long,
to-
and it's a hard role, but she was wonderful in it. I mean, she was really, I think, you know, I mean, in my humble, unbiased opinion, was born to play those kinds of parts.
Well, you know, both of you aren't doing too badly. She's had some wonderful roles. You are now in really a terrific show, Me and My Girl, on Broadway. The part you play has gotten wonderful reviews. The Family Solicitor. The song is one of the top songs in the show.
Yes, and it delights me too, because I think that it's a show that is without guile or without a hard, uncomfortable understory. You know, it's a good-spirited, good-hearted show for the whole family. It makes everybody feel good, and there are tunes that everybody ends up singing, leaves the theater singing, and I'm very glad to be a part of something like that.
Actually, you know, interesting. I'm curious. I saw Me and My Girl in London. I did not see the Broadway production. Is there a difference? Should I go see it on Broadway, or is it essentially the same play when it comes over?
Well, I think that any play that starts off somewhere and is brought in is essentially the same show. But there are many changes which make it a little bit more exciting here. We had another 3 months, really a little more than 3 months, to work on the show before it opened in front of the Broadway critics. And those 3 months were spent tuning it and adding material, taking out material that didn't seem to work. So in many ways, the show you saw in London is less formed than what we have. And I think that, I mean, I don't know whether it's a matter of pride or whatever, but I'm told that we have a particularly good ensemble working, you know, to make this, in the performance side of it, to make it a very fine show compared to London.
Well, obviously it's working. I mean, it's been sold out almost since day one.
Yeah.
Now, Robert Lindsay starred in it initially. He came over from London. He was in the London production. He won a Tony. Now Jim Dale is in it. Wonderful performer, but
That's right.
does that change it for you?
It does. It changes it for everybody, and I think the only folks it doesn't change it for are the audience, because they're seeing the show mostly for the first time, and both performers have tremendous strengths on stage, and they deliver, each of them, you know, excellent performances. We've changed because the characters change, and the way we have to deal, we as feature players have to deal with the characters, must adjust to respond to who they are. I mean, Robert Lindsay's performance was, the word that comes to mind is elegant. It was an extremely elegant performance, where every little moment was an investigated moment. He'd done it for 3 years, and he really knew that character inside and out, and I think that it was extremely funny and extremely heartwarming. Jim Dale, in many of the same ways, is a wonderful performer with tremendous dynamic verve and energy. He's a wonderful singer and a terrific comedian. And, you know, I mean, we've been blessed with 2 very excellent stars.
Gee, it seems like we're doing a commercial for Me and My Girl.
Well, you get me on the subject.
Okay, now it's a wonderful
naturally.
role for you. It really is. The Family Solicitor, and it's wonderful. But, you know, you're a working actor. And you were directed by Alan Arkin. Now, I kind of wonder
In
I'm
Room
trying to
Service.
remember. Room
It
Service,
was the
okay.
show that I did just before Me and My Girl. And it was obviously a non-musical comedy that we did at the Roundabout Theater. And I must say that it was one of the most pleasurable experiences in terms of what I was able to accomplish theatrically. Even though it was a small role, it was a very creative ensemble, and Alan was a wonderful director.
I mean, he's crazy, obviously, on screen as a director.
Since he's had a lot of experience as an actor, he really understands the acting process, and rehearsals were extremely exciting with him because he was always part of the give and take of putting it together. It was a very interesting and exciting experience.
His wife was in it also.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
which is interesting that he would be directing his wife. Your wife, as we mentioned earlier, is in show business.
I beg your pardon?
Your wife is in show business, as we mentioned, Susan
Yes.
Bigelow. Have you worked together?
We've not really done a show together. We met at a party, not in a show, which is unusual for people in show business, I think. And we are still waiting for that golden opportunity to perform together. I respect her as a performer, and she does me, and we're just waiting for the right project to come along that will involve the both of us. We did do some readings, some non-staged like backers auditions, well, that's what they call them, readings.
Okay, but two people in show business. You've got a little daughter, Emma, who we almost had on camera
couldn't quite
with us,
sit still enough.
who left to play with the balloons.
Yeah.
How old is Emma?
Emma will be 2 in November.
2, we talked. But now, is it tough? I mean, you're really starting, even though you have a wonderful role, you're both really still waiting for that big break in this business.
I guess you could say that. I feel very settled in the industry. 20 years I've been an actor, and I don't think I've been out of work too often during that 20 years. I mean, I'm lucky, I'm happy, I'm fortunate, I feel good about it. And sometimes the business has taken me through a lot of twists and turns, which has kind of churned me up and made me not so happy as I would like to have been. But as a character man, someone who doesn't particularly aspire to playing necessarily the major singular baritone role in a show, I don't have to. It's not part of my great aspirations. I feel good about where I am in the profession, and I haven't stopped working in 5 years. I was in Cats for 2 years, and then right into room service, and then right into Me and My Girl. It's almost 5 years of work. Prior to that, a successful run of tomfoolery in Boston for 7 months. It was, it's been like that for a long
In
time.
compromising positions in the movie.
Compromising position. I
As
just
the
finished
rabbi.
a film role for Costa Gavras in his new movie called Sundown, which is odd because he cast me because he saw me in Me and My Girl, which is a comedy, and Sundown is a real dark kind of intrigue mystery, and involves some of the darker sides of our culture in current times. But apparently he sort of liked what I did.
Well, you've done lots of things. Actually, in Cats, you mentioned you played Gus the Theater Cat,
Yes.
which should have come natural to you. And I thank you very much for taking the time. I know, we can
Thank
see
you
you
very
on
much,
Broadway.
Arlene.
We'll see you in the movies, and
Yes.
I'm glad we saw you here.
Maybe we'll see each other in the
And,
audience of the Met one of these days.
Yes. Well, after all, we're here for the Metropolitan Opera, and
For
your
sure.
families, you're here with your family,
Yeah.
and I thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here. Well, we've been speaking with Timothy Jerome, and we have a lot more guests, so please don't go away. I'm Arlene Herson, and here we are at this benefit for the Metropolitan Opera in Central Park. Right now, we're joined by Susan Bigelow. Susan recently was on Broadway, starring in South Pacific in the Mary Martin role. Quite an achievement. She's also married to Timothy Jerome, who's in Me and My Girl, show business family. We're going to get to talk to her right now here at the party. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we talked with your husband a little earlier, and it's not really very ordinary to have two people in show business, two in very similar careers. You're both singers as well as actors, but I hear you didn't meet because of show business.
No, we met at a party that someone was throwing for a mutual acquaintance who we knew separately from each other, and we both arrived at the party at different times. I was there all night. I got there very early, and Timmy came after the show, and he saw me and I saw him, but not when either of us was looking at the other, and we were both sitting there going, I've got to meet this person. like to talk to them. And it was very funny because we were both manipulating something at the same time, not aware that the other person had even taken notice. It was love at first sight, I swear.
No, that's very nice. That's very nice. And not knowing you were in the same profession.
No, I thought he was a
which is great.
producer. He was in a suit and a tie and carrying a briefcase. I didn't even know he was an actor. I was hoping he wasn't. But he was, and he's a very fine actor, so at least I got a good one.
Oh, well, yes, right. Does a wonderful job in Me and My Girl, as we talked about.
so,
but,
too.
you know, what you just did on Broadway.
Sort of a little off center of Broadway because
Well-
I guess the City Opera is not considered quite on. It's not an equity contract. It's an opera contract. So
Okay, true. Okay,
close
you're
enough.
absolutely right. You know, I think, but it's the New York City Opera
Yeah.
production of South
Lincoln
Pacific.
Center, yes.
9-week run. You're in the lead role. You're not an opera singer. This is a New York City Opera production.
It's definitely an opera house. It's very different to fill with no real miking. I don't even know how many seats there are. It's the largest theater I've ever performed in, and I took a lot of deep breaths. I was jogging, and it was a lot of fun. I was very pleased to find out from people in the upper balconies that they could understand my dialogue and my singing. Some of the times, the dialogue is the hardest to project in a theater like that without help. Especially when the scene goes from a high emotional down to something very quiet. The dynamic has to be there for the audience to hear. You're used to hearing something loud and then something quiet comes at you, and your ears don't adjust as fast, so you have to really project everything.
Okay, but what about playing the role that Mary Martin played? Was that scary?
It was, and I think it would be again in New York City. People who haven't even seen the show, we were compared to Mary Martin and Enzo Pinz on the album. People had never seen the show, and they said, well, I didn't see the show, but I listened to the album, and it seems to me that maybe this should have been that way. And it's hard to play a role that's become legendary. I personally love the role a lot, and I'd happily do it again anywhere. And I'm different. I'm not Mary Martin, and I'll never be Mary Martin, and certainly no one wants me to be, including Mary Martin.
And including your husband,
Yes.
Jerome,
But
and that little girl who
Yes.
I met here today, Anna.
It's fun to be Nellie
But-
Frobisher, though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Nellie is actually. I understand that you come from a Navy family.
Yes, I do. I'm one of 10 children, actually.
Oh, really?
from
My goodness. From where?
Ray, Tom, Jean, Mary, Peggy, Carol, Susie, Johnny, Laura, Bobby, and all from all over the United States, because my father was transferred every few years. 2, 3 years, sometimes a little longer. Actually, I'm the 7th child, so we started settling in one area, and he would get transferred just 50 more miles away, so he would take long drives to work in the morning. It was-
Okay. Well, I heard that since Nellie in South Pacific is
an ensign.
is an
Navy
ensign,
family.
exactly. That you had a special feeling for her.
Yeah. Well, my dad actually, with a lot of hard work, wound up an admiral in the Navy, and there's this fun line where Nellie says that somebody's, she might as well be, she's being spoken of as though she were an admiral. I always had fun with that line because, it's sort of close to home. There is one.
And I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For
My
taking
pleasure.
the time for the party
Yes.
to be on the show. Thank you. Well, the party is over, but for me it's just beginning because we're joined here by Silly Billy to help us say goodnight. I hope that you've enjoyed meeting guests like Gilbert Gottfried,
Funny.
Timothy Jerome from Me
Great,
and My Girl,
great.
and Susan Bigelow.
Oh, she's wonderful. I loved her. She was great. Wasn't she fun?
She was great. You're great. I hope that you enjoyed it.
You're
You had a
great.
good time. Oh, terrific. Good night. Please join us again next week. See you then.